You've seen it 1,000 times. Turn on a porch light, and within seconds, a swarm of bugs appears like they've just been invited to a rave. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why are insects so obsessed with light? Is it love, survival, or something way darker? They all look like they are hypnotized by the glow. Most people are used to seeing this and even find it funny. Bugs love the light, we laugh. But what if the truth is much sadder and more interesting? These bugs aren't moving toward the light because they like it or feel warm. The way they think is based on evolution, which doesn't work for them in today's world. And the more we learn about it, the scarier it looks. A puzzle that has been around since the beginning of time and Shakespeare. There has always been a strange link between bugs and light. People have known that bugs are drawn to fires since the beginning of time. Even in the time of William Shakespeare, many years later, this strange behavior was well known. Portia jokes in The Merchant of Venice, "Thus hath the candle singed the moth," pointing out something that was already known to be true. But even though people have known about this behavior for a long time, the real reason insects do it has been a secret for a long time. Theories have ranged from wild guesses based on science to silly folk stories. Some people said bugs thought lights were mates. Others thought they were looking for warmth or thought the lights were the moon. Even though these ideas made sense, none of them fully explained the strange and often dangerous spiraling behavior that was seen near light sources. New research finally solves the puzzle. Early in 2024, a breakthrough study from Imperial College London and a number of other research partners finally gave a fuller answer. Researchers used high-speed infrared cameras in the lab and in the wilds of Costa Rica to get a close look at how insects fly. They watched how many different kinds of flying insects, moths, dragonflies, beetles, and more, moved to find out why their patterns changed when they were near artificial light. The results were not what I expected. It turns out that most flying insects depend on something called the dorsal light response, which was built in over time. They naturally line up the top of their bodies, or dorsal side, with the best source of light because of this behavior. In nature, this works fine most of the time. Because the sky is usually the brightest thing around, this reaction helps insects stay upright and find their way around. Artificial light, on the other hand, changes everything. This method gets thrown off by a bright streetlight, porch light, or even a phone screen. A bug thinks that a bright point source light coming from below or the side is the sky, when it is not. The bug keeps moving in a rolling, spiraling, or tumbling motion as it tries to turn around so that its back is facing the light. Insects are flying in loops, not because they are attracted to each other, but because someone is taking over their orientation system. The farther they get from the light, the less they can find their way, until they crash, burn out from exhaustion, or are caught by animals. An old system that doesn't work anymore. Bugs have used this dorsal light reaction for more than 370 million years, and it has worked well. Since there was no artificial light, nature gave clear signals. The small creatures didn't always know what to do with gravity, but they could always trust the light of the sky, especially at dawn and dusk. From above, light meant up, and from below, darkness meant down. This natural guide has been useful for a very long time. But when electric lighting was invented just over 100 years ago, things changed quickly and drastically for insects. Now, instead of one steady light source above them, there are thousands of point source lights spread out across the land. From street lamps to floodlights to car headlights, these man-made lights make it impossible for them to find their way and endanger their lives. Evolution hasn't had enough time to catch up. What we thought were myths, and why they were wrong. Many people believe insects are drawn to lights because they mistake them for the moon, using them to navigate. But new research shows that's not quite right. Bugs don't fly straight to lights. They spiral around them, trying to keep the light above. This is known as the dorsal light response, a deeply rooted behavior, not a directional guide. The idea that insects seek heat from lights is also outdated. Modern LEDs give off little warmth, yet still attract bugs. Another myth suggests insects are chasing food or mates, but this doesn't apply to most species. Finally, while brightness may play a role, it's not just confusion. Their looping flight patterns point to a built-in evolutionary response. The cost of attraction. Bugs are dying. Watching bugs dance around a light might seem safe or even funny, but there are bad things that will happen if you do. About 30 to 40% of the insects that are attracted to fake lights end up dying. Different things can cause them to fall. Some hit hot bulbs or walls, others just give up because they're tired, and many become easy prey for animals like bats, birds, and spiders that know lights are good places to hunt. Even worse, light pollution can mess up whole ecological processes. Light traps catch insects that aren't eating, mating, or pollinating plants. For example, fireflies use light messages to find mates. Too much artificial lighting blocks out their signals, which causes numbers to drop. Dragonflies and other insects that live in water often lay their eggs on shiny surfaces, like car hoods or wet sidewalks, thinking they are water. This kills their young. Food chains are being thrown off by this problem. The number of frogs, birds, and small mammals that depend on insects starts to drop as well. Scientists now call the loss of insects the insect apocalypse. This is because artificial light has become a silent killer. Fortunately, we can still lessen the damage that artificial lights do to insects. To prevent misleading adjacent bugs, scientists recommend easy fixes, like pointing outside lights downward. By reducing the light's dispersion, using covered or shielded fixtures also helps to reduce the likelihood that insects will be drawn to them from a distance. Since bugs are more attracted to blue or UV light than to warm LEDs like amber or yellow, switching to these colors can also lessen the impact. Above all, when exterior lights are not in use, switch them off. Every night, countless insects' lives can be saved by making even minor adjustments like these. Rules about lighting that work for both people and bugs. Cities and towns are starting to realize how important it is to cut down on light pollution, not just individuals. Some cities have dark sky policies that replace harsh streetlights with softer amber lighting and use motion monitors to control how long the lights are on. These rules are meant to protect both the views of the stars and the animals that come out at night. Long-term, responsible lighting isn't just about how things look. It's an important part of keeping the environment healthy and balanced. But what brings insects in the first place? Scientists now know why insects fly in circles around lights when they get close, but they still don't know how they discover these lights from so far away. A lot of artificial lights give off ultraviolet and blue light, which insects are quite sensitive to. These hues cut through the dark better, which makes lights seem even brighter to them. Insects generally check out any unexpected glow in the dark, since they have powerful instincts and are naturally curious. Insects don't want to go toward light. They're only reacting to a problem with their old navigation system. Small adjustments in how we use light can make a tremendous difference for the environment and the bugs that get caught in it. If you found this mind-blowing and want more truths that science is finally uncovering, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.